Jagex's first attempt at a Minecraft-influenced shooter, 2012's Ace of Spades, was a bit of a mess. A year earlier, the game had been released in beta form as a slow-paced, methodical blend of base building and combat that rewarded smart defensive fortification and planning. The 2012 release ramped up the pace considerably, shifting the balance further towards the shooter elements, which was a bit of a poor idea because those shooter elements were a bit naff. The studio's new game Block and Load doesn't make that same mistake. Here there's a finely toned balance between base building and blasting. There are 2 forward bases to defend for each team, plus a more heavily fortified HQ structure that must be destroyed last. You start each match with a 5-minute armistice, during which each team furiously flings blocks together to form a defensive zone around their forward power core. The catch here is that you only have a certain amount of blocks to use at any one time. Basic brick walls are cheap to throw down, but more advanced tiles like spring traps, it's always a delight when you see an enemy get springed off a bridge into a pit of lava, turrets and team only force fields quickly drain your resources. You can dig for more blocks, but the timer is constantly ticking away. It's a smart way to kick off a game, giving you just enough time to get creative while still giving each match a firm structure. And getting creative is lots of fun. In my time with the game I've seen nightmarish artillery zones, tar pits full of dart traps and explosive barrels sneakily masked with fragile plywood blocks. At the start of each match, each team's base seems like an impenetrable bastion, offering nothing but certain death, but as the rockets, grenades and bottles of hydrochloric acid start flying, everything descends into a wonderful, chaotic mess. Bridges that lead into enemy territory are sneakily built, then comprehensively destroyed. Great holes are gouged in the earth, then filled with mines and fire traps. A solitary player might manage to tunnel all the way across the map into an unguarded area and shatter the enemy power core just seconds before his own base is overrun. You will need to have a solid strategy. The best way to play is with a team of friends on voice chat, so you can really plan out your defensive tactics. Much like playing a MOBA with strangers, if you don't have a solid group together, you're pretty much screwed from the start, which can be frustrating for new players trying to get to grips with mechanics. Trying to force your way into some kind of nightmare playpen filled with plastic explosives, turrets and knives isn't that much fun when you're backed by 4 identical robots who seem to enjoy hurling themselves into lava. This isn't really a criticism. Teamwork is intended to be the lifeblood of Block and Load, but it's something to be aware of if you're a casual player who just likes to play solo. When you aren't playing ranked games, which only unlock after you've reached level 20, there doesn't seem to be any real matchmaking system in place to stop you getting set up against a ruthlessly organised team who build defences brutal enough to fend off the Hulk. Classes run the gamut from speedy ninjas that specialise in infiltrating enemy fortifications, to snipers, and my personal favourite, Engineer Tony Toretto. The latter is the only character that can build turrets, which means that while everyone else charges off to get shot into pieces, you can sit at home and plan the perfect killing field. Tar pits and turrets, that's all I'll say. It's impressive just how cleverly these characters cater to specific playstyles, and there's more on the way. Jetpacking Space Ranger Estorella made her debut in a recent update, adding a mobile, aggressive ranged alternative. The shooting isn't really what Block and Load is all about, but it's carried off with respectable flair. Each character packs a couple of ranged weapons and a melee attack, and comes equipped with a special move that can turn the tide of battle if timed correctly. Guns for the most part feel appropriately weighty, and hit detection seems reasonably solid. Still, it's definitely the environmental destruction and the building elements which are the real draw here. Each character can be levelled up as you play, earning them slight buffs to everything from build speed to skill cooldowns. These tend to be fairly minor changes, and honestly they feel a little bit superfluous. I think it might have been better to have everyone on the same playing field from the start and simply unlock more cosmetic items as you play, rather than gameplay affecting perks. Speaking of cosmetic items though, there are a couple of alternate costumes available for each character, and these are really great. Rather than simple visual changes, though they look lovely too, you get new voice work for each new costume. I particularly enjoy Robot Cogwheel's pirate look, which comes with a batch of gruff, metallic, nautical phrases.
Ready to set sail, Captain.
There are a few balance issues still to be worked out. Ninja OP1 Shinobi used to be a terrifying nightmare to deal with in close combat in the beta, but now his melee attacks seem to have been nerfed quite a bit, and I think Jagex is yet to quite find the sweet spot for him. The soldier class meanwhile seems a little underwhelming too, with not much in his arsenal to really change the swing of the game. Tinkering around with all this stuff is an ongoing process in any class-based game though, and for the most part each character offers a fun, viable alternative way to play. Block and Load offers an intelligent blend of tactical play and madcap carnage that hits the spot in a way that Ace of Spades never did. Despite some matchmaking issues and a couple of slightly underpowered classes, there's a thoroughly entertaining multiplayer game on offer here, and one that has bags of potential once the modders get their hands on it. Even without custom maps, smashing apart a level with explosives and lasers is great fun, and the sheer variety of possible attack routes means that there's always something there to surprise you. We finally have a good voxel based shooter. Block and Load gets a very respectable 7.5 out of 10. For more reviews, previews and lots more content from GameWatcher, please subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us on Twitter at GameWatcher.com.
Building supplies. No ticket.
Hoorah! That's right. Come to mama.